Hello, this is Steve Dietrich with Sunny Valley Farms. Just wanted to bring you a quick video. We've installed an LED light bar on our E-Z-Go golf cart that we use around the farm. It was very simple to install, came with all the parts needed, the light, the very heavy duty cord, and the mounting brackets. What we found was they were missing a washer for each set of the mounting brackets, but that was really not that big of a deal. These brackets came pre-packaged in a little plastic that kept all the parts together, which was very, very convenient. So also on the back of the light bar, the actual mounting bracket itself locks along a groove and you can move it to wherever you need to. Alright, well, let's go through the installation process of this light bar. First of all, this is our E-Z-Go golf cart that we use around the farm. It's a bit old and beat up, but it runs very, very well. The engine's in good shape and been rebuilt recently. The body looks a little old, but it really serves a purpose, you know, hauling stuff around. We do have it jacked up with some bigger tires in the back, and we put the gear ratio of this thing down a little bit so that it would pull the hills. But so here's the current light configuration. There's a couple little incandescent bulbs on the front. One of them, actually, the wire's pulled loose and is not working, which I would repair, but since we're going to be replacing the lights, there was no need to do that at this point. So we will go right into the installation process. So the first thing I had to do on this process was really determine where this light bar was going to be mounted. I decided to go down low like the other bulbs. You know, thought about maybe putting it up on the top bar, and various other places, but this seemed like the safest place. Sometimes we put large 2x4s and other board on here, which extend through the front cab and even sometimes rest on the front hood. So it was determined that the best place for this would be, or at least I determined, would be on the hood, right about where the other bulbs were. So let's get started with that. So the first step was to drill holes where the mounting brackets were going to go, which was very simple. It's a composite type hood. So anyway, drilled a pilot hole. Actually, the bit was too small, so it was fairly simple because of the construction of this hood to just kind of warble the holes out a little bit with the drill bit. Next, I had to look at which way to mount the bracket, because you can mount it in any position that you want. So was basically looking at that. With holding the light up to see where I could get it to where it mounted properly. One neat thing I discovered when installing this is the bracket actually has a it's manufactured to hold the bolt in place, so you can literally install this with one wrench. You don't need 2 wrenches because the bracket actually holds the bolt. So what I did is, after I determined where the brackets needed to, or which direction they needed to mount, it's just a matter of getting the nut on the back side and getting that tightened up, so that we would then have something for the actual light to mount on. So far, the installation has gone off without a hitch. Very simple to do, and I had no issues at this point. Okay, brackets installed. It's time to dry fit the light fixture. I actually did pretty well. I didn't even have to adjust the slide brackets on it. They just lined up because that's where I had marked to put my holes in. And so at this point, there's 4 bolts that go into each of the mounting pieces, 2 on either side. And one of the things I did notice, and you know, hindsight's 20/20, is I should have actually run one of those bolts in all 8 of the holes, because that's the only thing I struggled on a little bit here, was actually getting the bolt started. Once it got in the hole, it was fine, but that would have been something easy to do before I tried to mount it. And you know, once I got a bolt or 2 in, I didn't really want to take it off and do that. So this part went without a hitch. Pretty much just putting 8 nuts in, and or 8 bolts in, and tighten it down and getting it aimed the way you'd like it to be. So at this point it was time for me to address the wiring, and I simply just marked a spot where the wire was hanging and am going to drill that out and just feed the wire underneath the hood. So the light is installed, now it's time to wire it. This became not actually the connecting of the wires, but one of the most difficult parts of this job was getting the old lights loose. And that was one of the things that, you know, doesn't have anything to do with the new light. But they were a little bit tough to remove, and the existing wiring that was connected to them is what I wanted to use for this operation. So I'm going to actually remove these lights and tie the electrical wire or the low voltage wire from the old lights into the new system, and put some proper connectors on it and whatnot, and that would actually finish up this installation. Okay, it's not quite dark out here. It's probably too dark for the camera. Just wanted to try this light out. Oh yeah.